Okay, ready?
All right.
Fight. Box.
Astral rocking the yellow and black. KILLSHOT Kev in the white, and already fists flying. Both of these fighters looking to get an early KO if they can.
Absolutely, man. And these guys, again, no stranger to the action. Astral and KILLSHOT Kev. KILLSHOT Kev, actually very interesting not seeing him in the yellow and black. New outfit for the young man. This sets out to be a very exciting fight. Chat, I hope you guys are ready.
And both of these fighters showing an interesting way to start to establish pressure. Right now, both of them just kind of try to fighting for the center with a lot of punches. But, you know, they're very careful not to, you know, just go too hard with the spam. And I think that's kind of the mark of a good feature, right? Like, if you want to, you know, prevent fighters from doing something, there's a lot of different ways you can do it, right? You can just hard cap it out of the game, but that can feel very, very frustrating, very limiting. What I like, it's something like this, right? Like, if you feel like something is bad form, is bad boxing practice, you know, disincentivize it, right?
Absolutely.
Make there a punishment for abusing it too much.
Absolutely. And you know what? We've had some contentions here on the channel with the anti-spam system, but until somebody comes up with another way to limit the amount of wild punching that someone can do, I mean, I wish they were a bit more forthcoming with how the system works. I understand why they haven't.
Let's go.
Competition is out there looking to scope tech. But it leaves the boxers in a very mysterious position. But right now, we've kind of gotten used to it that, like, after 4 punches being thrown, like Astral right now going to town, he's putting himself in a position where his character becomes tired. After 4 punches, your character becomes more vulnerable. Ooh, speaking of vulnerability, KILLSHOT Kev getting the ugly face. That's the other half of the coin, right? If you get that counter shot on someone, you're allowed, at least for the time that they're down, to get bloodthirsty, you know, and try to go for the kill, which makes sense.
It is, you know, it's not perfect, right? It's not every boxing scenario works that way, but it does give something for the fighters to play around. And you know, it's an interesting mechanic, right? Like, comparing it to something like Boxing Underdog, the stun mechanic is very different there, right? Your hands are basically useless. You just have to get out of there entirely. Whereas here, you do have some options, you know, in terms of counter punching, even if you're hit, to fight back.
Break it up.
And that's what I was saying, right? Like, different mechanics, different choices, you get very different games.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a very interesting design choice, right? So in the neutral, right, where both of you guys are healthy and happy, anybody who's over incentivizing punches and bunches gets punished, right? They put themselves in open ability for a counter shot, and you know, like, hey, throw a 3-hit combo, you know what I'm saying? Keep it tight, and you'll be rewarded. You can reset, you can still be aka aggressive, right? But let's say now someone gets hurt. Now you're incentivized to go for the finishing blow, overwhelm your opponent. But your opponent has an out. If he stays defensively responsible, looks for the counter hit, he can get you back for being overzealous. So there's always, at every point in time, a little mental tug of war, back and forth, if you will, at least with this philosophy, right? So at the very least, as people get used to it, right, there's something to keep in mind. And if you watch the top boxers in the server, they know this dance, right? And when both of them are aware of it, oh, it's a wonderful fight. Easy to read, easy to call, great knockdowns. You really never know what happens, right? But when you have people who are a bit more inexperienced, it leads to some goofy stuff, I'm not gonna lie.
Seconds out.
Yeah, which can be fun too, right? Like, it's what I like is in these long cards that we have, right? We usually see a lot of different styles, which I think just speaks to the different, like, approaches to this game that are out there, right? Like, we haven't seen one thing totally dominate the scene yet, but right now we've seen Kev dominating Astral with that kill shot.
Let's take a look at that on the instant replay.
7, 8.
Ooh, it was a left hook drive-by to the body, it seems, that puts your boy Astral down, puts Kev up early in this match, too. A lot of time for him to work and do more damage on Astral.
And there it is, Astral rocked again. Got to be careful. Kev is starting to lock in.
And this is what we were talking about earlier, right? With Astral being rocked, Kev now has all range. He has a lot of incentive to really lay in. Kev being smart, though, worrying about that counter hit, decides to get away with just a couple of free bonus damage shots there on Astral, which is a very smart thing to do when you're up.
Right.
Yeah.
Blue, take a step
That's
back.
what I'm saying, right? We've seen a lot of different approaches to it tonight. Like, when you're up, you have a choice to make. Basically, do you keep pounding on, the pressure, flooring the gas, and just go for the TKO? Do you continue to just be aggressive at a slightly slower pace? Or do you back off now knowing that you're ahead on the scorecards? And I think it really comes down to how you feel about your own skills and the skills of your opponent. Right, like if you feel like, okay, I got this guy, like none of his punches are landing, I'm blocking and dodging everything, I can hit him at will, you're going to go for that TKO or for those style points. If, it's a close fight, then you got to be a little bit more careful.
Right now, Astral is the type that is emotionally charged. KILLSHOT Kev, I think, doing the right thing, backing up in that last exchange. Astral is swinging for the fences. And what KILLSHOT Kev doesn't want to do is to go in for a flurry, even if he has the no anti-spam on, and get hit by a counter hit. And he's up, right? So Kev knows he's been here a couple of times. He's just going to take his damage, right? As long as he stays active and doesn't let the damage get away from him, he's going to continue to frustrate Astral and force even more mistakes. Hell, this can lead to another knockdown if Astral's not careful.
Yeah.
We're trying to go in for the clinch.
And I love Kev's style, right? Like, we've seen a lot of different approaches of, focused boxing styles, different brawlers that are, accurate or just, kind of more volume punchers. And, you get a lot of really interesting kind of, style matchups, right? We always say it's not ELO that makes fights, it's the style. But even beyond that, right, you can see certain styles lend themselves to getting better over time, right? Like, if you got a focused, patient style where you really know what's hitting, you do a good job usually of adjusting the patches. You can, you get a good feel of the fight. You know what's working and what's not. Whereas if you're just kind of swinging wildly, even if you get a knockdown, if you don't know why that happened or if you can't replicate it, you can't rely on that as part of your game.
Absolutely. Round number 2 coming to a close. ATX Xavier saying Yellow Trunks is throwing. I mean, in multiple ways, bro, I agree with you. He's throwing hands. He might be throwing the match. Astral getting a little flustered there in that last round, getting turned around literally by KILLSHOT Kev. Kev keeping it classy, keeping it calm. Another thing that I've noticed, too, is Kev was in trouble there at the end of that round. Astral, though, could not plant his feet and get into a good rhythm to capitalize on that. And, Keaton over here saying, yeah, he agrees totally, man. ATX Xavier said if he added some technique, he'd be doing a lot better. I think, to that point, Xavier, if he just grounded himself a little bit, took a deep breath, calmed down,
seconds out,
woosah, you know what I mean? And then really come back. He has the potential to lock in here, you know what I mean? But Sally, how do you feel about that second round?
I think it's definitely Kev's round, right? No question there. Astral is dealing with that low battery headset, so he has a sense of urgency. I don't know if he thinks he can make it to the end of his fight, and you can see it right now, right? He's saying, stand here, stand and bang. And oh no, he's not paying attention, and I think that might be the it. That is it.
This is what happens. We warn everyone all the time, charge your headsets. Charge your headsets. I mean, Kev was on his way to winning that anyway. Kev just laying in the damage at this point. Just the beating the lifeless body of Astral. And there it is. Finally, the headset gets him out. And there was no way that if you can't last 3 rounds, right? There's nothing you can really do. You can't make time go any faster than that.
The blue corner.
There we go. KILLSHOT Kev taking the dub. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for this.
I gotta give a little bit of credit back to Astral. Astral did ask for an earlier fight, and we couldn't get it to him. His headset was low, but it is something, it is something that we knew ahead of time.
Here's my point, Solly.
For fighting it
here's
through.
my point.
But
here's my point. You had an entire evening to charge that from the first round that we had on this stream up until now. So if all that time you were waiting, you did not plug your headset in once, it is on you, brother. I mean, bro, it don't get no more simpler than that. Wait for the match, plug the thing into the wall. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. That's not an excuse. So looking at the scorecard, 10-9, 10-8 in favor of KILLSHOT Kev. One knockdown there in the second round. damage was looking in KILLSHOT's favor, 2389 to 2048. It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? When you just cannot have the headset charged, we've all been there, right? Unless you just realize the headset wasn't charged the night before, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, right? So let's lock in with the chat for a little bit. Give Kev an opportunity to get back here. So shout outs to the homies for locking in. Brian, of course, saying the Yellow Trunks was throwing it. You know what I'm saying? Brian was observing. He said the Yellow Trunks getting caught by the counters. You know what I'm saying? Haggy Baggy said, bro is not Holloway at the start, bro. Haggy Baggy, appreciate the follow. You know what I'm saying? DTDYL4N, appreciate the follow as well. ATX Xavier said he was going to be gassed out by the third round and knocked out. It looked like it was the urgency, right? Astral was really trying to put that fight away early. But Kev is a grounded fighter, and he's been through a lot with this game. He's had a lot of experience against a lot of fighters. I didn't think he was going to get frazzled just by Astral kind of throwing hands. And Astral was throwing wide, a lot of haymakers, and it even looked like they weren't connecting very well. So the frustration was definitely building up. You know what I'm saying? DTDYL4 and say, let me get the fade, bro. Hey, if you want to run the fade, bro, join the Discord. You won't be able to get in on tonight's card. Everybody is already pre-registered, but join in, sign up for next week. Every Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when we open up the signups in the exhibition signups channel here on the server. So you got a whole week. You know what I'm saying? Roman Fade Lesh said, oh, with the follow. Riley with the follow. I appreciate it, dog. You know what I'm saying? Keaton says he was good. You know what I'm saying? He was good. So DTDYL4N, there is no public code. Everybody who is signed up already signed up for this fight. The card is locked in. But you can get the chance to sign up next week. Solly, who do we have showing up next?